Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Mom Edit with Jamie and Lisa. So happy to be here. It's a Friday. It's like beautiful weather.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here
sunny.
too. We've been sticking with this. I'm really proud of us, and I think we realize we're enjoying this, and
Yeah, it's like the most time we get together all week.
and we're not in our basement.
And we're not eating.
We used to get a wrap every time. We used to get a wrap every time after. We used
Now
to
I'm
look
not
forward
pregnant
to that.
anymore. And now I'm like,
I know.
you know, although
I had a little
like
toast
every
of
time,
butter
every
before
time
I
we
came.
leave to drive here, because it's like a 15-minute drive,
I
20-minute drive, I'm always like, let's go get a smoothie, like a protein shake.
You had cottage cheese in the car.
Because
it
I didn't
smells up
eat
the whole
anything.
car, and you just washed that car. I can't stand the smell of cottage cheese. I'm so turned off.
You think it
by
has a smell?
Yes, it was like a vinegary smell. I'm so grossed out by it.
No,
And then I
just
lift up
realized
the
how
middle
much
glove compartment,
I don't like the word vinegar.
and vinegar's good for cleaning. My mother used to always clean.
I know,
with
but just
with
the way
vinegar.
you just said, I don't know.
Because you're picturing the smell. So then, how about this? I pick up the middle glove compartment thing, and I see you stored it there. Now
just
the heat,
right now. No,
right,
just
but
right
the
now because
heat
I didn't want to
mixed with
see it in the
dairy.
clean car.
Mm.
I forgot to take it out.
Now, right. So we're going to go in the
We should
car.
stop the podcast right now and go grab it and put it in
No,
the garbage.
we got to go. All right.
No,
so
because
anyway,
I didn't want to see
this.
it like in the car. The car's nice and clean, and
I get it.
I put it in there so we get to a garbage. And
I opened the middle console, and you have like 400 pieces of gum wrappers, empty gum, and I get so mad because I'm so excited because I'm like, ooh, there's gum, and it's empty. 2 of our car keys, the same car key. What do you got in there? Off script, but what has she got in there, everybody? I don't know. Anyway, today's podcast, I think we should get right to it because we have a limited time.
as
and
usual,
it
but
is,
part of life.
Yep, but it is an important topic, and I think, well, this idea came because we went out to dinner with another couple that are preparing to have kids, 2 guys, awesome dinner, and we were telling them things that we just did naturally raising our kids since they're babies, as far as being a 2 same-sex couple. They were very like, oh my gosh, that's a good idea. Oh, you do that. I didn't even think about that. And I was like, oh, well, this kind of was just normal to us, the things that we've done. So
Just a lot of things that they just didn't think about.
Right. So I thought it would be good to talk about it because, again, we started this podcast for, a lot to talk about our family and like what we've done. So that's why I prepared questions and kind of like an outline for today to cover what we've done with our kids that we just never mentioned before. So, but any updates though within the past week that you we always do a little update. Francesco's rocking it at camp.
Still accident free.
Knock on wood.
No, he's really doing great. We were just telling someone how like we're looking at him in such a different way. Like we're really treating him like he's his own person and not treating him how we treated Carmela. And I think it's just like a life lesson for us that each one of our kids, even the identical girls, are probably going to be different. They all have their own needs.
Yeah.
And, as he got older, we got busier and I was pregnant. So it was like that year, I feel like, is when, not that we messed anything up, but he needed to be more individualized. And thankfully his school's amazing. Like they really like worked with us to give him what he needed. But now that I'm seeing at home when he's not in school and like it's less structure and stuff, I'm like, oh, well, he has his own needs. We need to parent him like in a different way than the way we parented Carmela.
You're right.
Like Carmela has a strong personality, as we all know, and she's a negotiator. He's like a little bit sensitive and like.
That's funny. Yes. That's funny you said that because last night when Francesco was losing it last night, he was overtired. He got a boo-boo on his arm. I put him in the bath. He started screaming that the bath is too hot, but then it was just his boo-boo. But he wouldn't let up that he wanted to get out of the bath. He was screaming Bloody Mary. You never really heard him scream like that, right?
He's never done that.
I know.
Carmela,
so then I was just trying to. So then I took him out, and then he was screaming. He wanted to go back in. And here I am as a parent being like, I don't want to teach him that by screaming he gets what he wants. And then he just wouldn't let up. And then finally, he was like, Mommy, can I try to go in the bath again?
Such a good boy.
And then I said yes. And the reason I said yes, even though it was past his bedtime, was because he's not like Carmela. He's not a negotiator. If it was Carmela, I would have to stick with that till the day I died.
That is
no matter
so
how
true.
Much of a nightmare it would be. Would have to.
She would have carried on for 2
She
more
would
hours.
have taken advantage of it.
He literally meant it.
Yeah,
He's
you were happy that I let him go in the bath.
When
so
I
brought
went
that up. I
downstairs,
said, remember you asked properly, after all that screaming and crying, and he remembered that. So
he's a good boy.
One time you said parenting is easy. Parenting it's not easy at all.
No, I don't think it's easy. I think like Carmela, you're right, is a negotiator, but he literally just gets overstimulated and can't control it. And he really meant he wanted to try again. He wanted to improve it. He's such a good boy.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with him. But he's doing good. He still has his
Then
little
there's
glasses.
the girls who are just like,
la 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 la. They're actually, yesterday we had a couple people over, and
I feel like they have a huge leap in development since last week.
Yeah, they're getting scared more of like loud noises if the door slams. Or if the Carmela and Francesco are right in their face, and then Stranger Danger too.
Stranger Danger, brand new. Just
sister
cute.
came over. And
they're sitting and playing. Like, they're reaching for toys and like sitting and playing and like.
Do they interact with each other much yet?
They did for the first time the other day.
Not much.
I was FaceTiming with my sister. And so the phone was like here, because I don't really FaceTime with them a lot, right? Like, so this was here. The babies were here, and I was sitting right behind them. And the babies are talking, and I'm like, oh, whatever. And then one of the babies was like, eh. And then
the other one turned.
Sophia did that. Serafina looked at her and was like, and then they both did it together. Like, Tiana saw the whole thing. They both did it together, and then they laughed, and then they both put their hands on a shared ball and laughed again. I started crying.
Done.
I started crying. Deanna was like, oh my God.
Done.
I was like, oh my God. And I said, you literally just witnessed them playing for the first time together. Like,
wow.
Now they'll, like, this morning, I was sitting on the playmat with them, and I gave a little rattle to Sophia, and she was like, and I showed her how to shake it, and then she shook it, which is still pretty new that she's like imitating actions with toys. So I was like, oh my God, yeah. And then Serafina was like, took it right out of her hand, and then she was like,
and then reaction from
and then Sophia started crying, and then they were taking that out of each other. I was letting it happen. I was watching it. They were taking it out of each other's hands. Like, one would take it, and then the other would take it, and then the other one would be like, but then would get it, so she wouldn't cry, and it was very cute. Then I pulled out another rattle, and then the funny thing was that they just wanted each other. So that it mattered that
right. We're gonna have all these different personalities around us, like we're gonna have all these humans around.
Speaking of that, like, we're gonna have to figure out how to manage 4 different activities. Like, if they all like 4 different sports, even like we're designing this new play, like we're redesigning our basement, and in that there's one huge like rec area, we're making like their huge playroom instead of having one upstairs, and we're trying to figure out how to like zone it.
Right. So I asked ChatGPT, design this for
1-year-old to
10-year-olds. Right. That's the truth, you know?
Because at some point, doesn't Carmel's age, like, eventually they'll like want video games or something?
Yeah, like, before we know it, in a couple weeks. But
I think your kids her age now probably play them, but
trying to hold on to her youth as much as possible. But this is parenthood, you know. This is going to be our story one day. And we only really it's really 6th to 7th grade. I've seen it. That's when they change. It's not much.
What do they do for fun at that age?
I don't know, because they're also around different people. I've witnessed it because I've been around young kids.
What does an innocent 11-year-old do? Like, at home, do they still play?
There's a girl on my team who wasn't given a phone. I have it's on a 14U team, and she has a different personality than most of the other girls. She like is silly. They all crack up because she does the worm a lot. She walks funny. She makes funny faces, and the cool girls that have the phone and they're doing the snap, they crack up laughing at her, like, and they're buddies. Like, they just think she's hysterical because she's innocent. She doesn't care as much what people think. She doesn't have a phone. And I talked to the mom in depth about that. So we're going to have our daughter around people that have social media and phones, and, you know, we're going to manage that and just try to keep them as innocent as long as possible, you know, and make it always family first, you know, big family first conversations we always have. So anyway, that was a little tangent, but that really is what's going on in our household with these 2 new personalities, with Francesco developing into his own and learning. He's
Designing
very
this
different.
New playroom.
He has different needs. Doing this playroom from 0 to 1 to 10 years old. And I think this week was actually really awesome. Yes, it was a good week. It was a good week. And then we'll have a good weekend together. So anyway,
what's
ready to talk about the topic? All right. So I have the phone because now our printer's not syncing for some reason. Don't you love that?
Yeah, I can't do a return.
All right. How we raised so far, I have to say so far.
Okay.
How we raised proud kids in a 2-mom family from day one. And I say so far because I'm sure things are going to come up where they're going to compare themselves to others, or they're going to, you know, be picked on by one jerk or another, you know. So I would say that our kids are very, very proud of us. I do feel that way, at least as of now. And this came up because like I said, we were out to dinner and we were just saying little things that we do. So I thought it would be good to share, share these things that we've done. Right. So, so this was the first thing. From when Carmela was a baby, we followed it with all our kids. Reading every book to Carmela, what did we always do?
We've said this on a podcast, I think, when we first started out.
You think so? I don't remember saying this.
Yeah, when we first started, whenever we read a book, yeah, we definitely did. We would change the word dad to mom or mommy or mama.
Right. And I found one of the books, and it was I forget it was one. Oh no, it was, I forget. Oh, it was Heather Has Two Moms, and I actually wrote mommy, even though it was a mommy and mom book. I changed it.
Yeah, but even in dad books, you crossed it out and wrote mom. Do you remember why?
Because to make it like normal for us.
We just would change it. Carmela couldn't read yet. Why'd you do it?
Oh, I don't know. Just so I wouldn't slip up when I was reading.
No, because when babysitters were over, you wanted to make sure that they read it the same way
as us. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I did.
You have a terrible memory.
I remember that. I thought it was just so I wouldn't mess it up.
No, because when babysitters would come over, you'd be like, I don't think they're going to remember.
That's right. That's right.
There's so many things you did with the first kid that you don't do now.
I
don't mean you, I mean everybody.
Yeah. So I did that with the Two Mom books to make it very personalized to Carmela at the time, right? Because it was like Mama Jane and Mama Diane or whatever. I always wrote Mommy and Mama. And then even with
Mom and Diane
and Mom and Dad's, I would change it to Mommy, Mom and Mommy, Mama and Mommy to connect with her. So the question is, do kids feel proud to have two moms from one conversation with them or from little steps that you take really from when they're born?
Yeah, I think you have to raise them that way.
Right.
Have to.
So if there's a two-mom couple out there that uses the word father when they're talking about donor.
That was always our biggest pet peeve. It still is.
I definitely don't think you should use that anymore. That's just my personal opinion, right? Because you're giving power to just a donor in the title father, right?
Well, the word father is a parent role.
Right.
And so a donor is not a parent, so it doesn't make any sense.
That's true. That's a good point, actually. And the other thing is if you have books, because there's not a lot of books that really, that we vibed with that were for two mom families, because a lot of them were about being different. So read as many regular books to your kid about awesome characters, but change the word mom and dad to mommy and mama and do what's best for your family.
Yeah, like a regular series that has
Fancy Nancy. Right. Or like Amelia Bedelia. Wasn't that a book from back in the day? And just change it to as if she had a mommy and a mama. That's something that we did.
Yeah, because all the mommy and mama books that we have had are very much like mommy does the laundry and mama is the one that builds stuff. It's like always
Remember the one with the scary pictures where the kid's being bullied?
For being different?
I hid that. A lot of people gave us the one Danielle gave us recently is great because it's simple. It's like very simple. And actually that came up in conversation too. We don't really make a huge deal, and we never have, about being a two-mom couple to Carmela and our kids, right?
No.
Like, I think that's very important. The how we make it like family first and we're just awesome parents. I think that's something that really has to be led with from the beginning. But as a two-mom couple, you don't know. You sometimes, I'm sure people out there feel like they should talk immediately about not having, a father. Maybe some people think that that's good. I just don't, as a kid with their youth and their innocence, I just don't feel that was something I wanted to do for our family.
No.
So what are some other things that we've done that we think has just made it, I will say, normal to have us as our parents and proud?
Exposed her to other two-mom families, two-mom couples, pointed out two-dad couples. And even now, like, Carmela realizes that it's slim picking. Like, there's the majority of couples are mom and dad families, right? So when we walk, I have always been like, once she got old enough to understand, I'd be like, oh my gosh, look, there's another mommy and a mama family. She'd be like, where? But then, like, now she'll point out when she sees families or when she sees, like, two women or two men together. And for a long time, I'm like, it's definitely a mom and a daughter, like in my head. But I would be like, oh yeah, you're right. Look, I wonder if that's their kid.
Yeah.
But the other day, it was like really clear, like really different ages. So I said, oh no, I think that's actually a mom and a daughter. She's like, well, how could you? Because now she's old enough that I feel like I waited until she got to a certain age that I could like start to different. Because at first I wanted her to feel like it was everywhere. But now she's old enough that I want her to like be able to tell the difference between a mom and a daughter and two moms. And she's like, well, why don't you think it's a mom and a daughter? And I said, well, do you see? I don't remember what it was, but do you see that she's doing X, Y, and Z and whatever? She looks old. She looks young. I don't know.
Right.
Because I think like I don't want her to like just assume everybody's gay.
Right.
We also explained to her too that like, there's some families like ours, and there's families that are not like ours. Just because you have two moms, by the way, doesn't mean that you might want to marry this little boy that she has a little crush on, or you might want to marry someone else. But either way, it's fine. It's just, just because we have mommy and mama doesn't mean that you have to be that way too.
Right. What about
that's a touchy subject? I think probably
it is a touchy subject, but this is stuff that we were never like. Nobody talked about this at all ever. And a lot of people still don't talk about it, and we're not saying what's right for everybody, but we're just saying what we've done and what, so far it seems like our kids are proud to just have like two awesome parents. Like, I think, because don't forget, this will change. We'll probably be on here in a year talking about how we had to tell her, because she brought up the word DNA yesterday at dinner, because they were talking about germs, and AJ, who's older, said, well, they share the same DNA. And they were actually talking about Francesco and Carmela's friend that was over. And I said, no, they don't share the same DNA. Siblings share the same DNA. And he's like, yeah, well, Carmela and Francesco have the same exact DNA. So if they share germs, that's okay. Now I'm thinking, I'm eating my freaking wrap, and I'm like, oh,
please
God,
don't bring anything up.
We go.
Please don't bring anything else up.
No. But then I'm like, all right, let's just say they didn't share fully the same DNA. This is stuff that is going to come up in conversation in time. You know what I mean? They just happen to share DNA because we had a tough time with your IVF and your eggs. But these are conversations that two same-sex parents have to have.
Yeah.
We will be having this conversation with Carmela before we know it. So we have to learn how to navigate it. I know there are books out there for donors, but I haven't even looked at any of that yet. Because I'll be honest with you, I also like still living in my little bubble.
I know.
That there wasn't a third piece that came in and helped build our family.
It doesn't feel that way, though.
It doesn't feel it.
But you're right. Scientifically, she's going to want to know.
Right. So I'm holding on to this sanctity and like this beauty of just us for now. I hear stories that when the kid is told, they're like, oh, okay. But I don't know. Every kid may be different.
I think that
maybe I'm a deep thinker, but my brother and sister would have said, oh, okay.
Also, I think that at some point now, Carmela has probably figured out that she was made in a different way than her peers.
I don't think so yet. We don't know.
You don't think she's ever thought about how babies are made? I don't know.
They still think that it's like, as of first grade,
My mom is calling.
Okay.
I just want to make sure she's not trying to drive to our house.
Okay.
Hi. Are you leaving? Oh, okay. No, I'm filming a podcast right now, so I just wanted to make sure. Call you back.
So it's going to be very different, I think, with each kid. But, with her being the oldest, like I said last time, if, we make sure to make her as proud as possible, just have two great parents.
That's the point that we drive home, I think, all the time, that we just have an awesome family. But I think that's also the part that makes her feel so inclusive, is that we're constantly like, family, family, family. What did you tell her the other day? That you were like, our family motto, as you get older, always remember that our family motto is...
Oh.
It's a family motto. I don't even remember
it. It was like our family, the older you get, the more you become best friends with your parents. It was something.
No.
Family first. So we're subconsciously
family first. It was like, you remember, as you get older, you always remember it's family first.
That was this morning around the island.
No, but so what were you saying the other day?
Well, first off, she's at camp now, so she's with all these girls. It's all girls. It's a whole girl side. So I'm noticing different habits she's bringing home and different sass she's bringing home, okay? And
like last
she
night
always
she said something that we were like...
I know. She always played with, like,
boys
and girls.
Yeah.
At school, so now she's
mostly
around
boys.
all
She likes
girls.
hanging out, but she just gets along
Yeah,
with
but she likes,
she
Yeah. So anyway, so we've noticed a different type of sass. So I made it clear. I said, listen, you're around girls now. They're a little different. They're a little sassier. I just kind of tried to call it out for what it is, so she knew that I knew what she was experiencing and could connect like, oh, maybe I am being sassy because I am around 100 girls now with a lot of sass. Not all of them, but you know how girls are. Come on.
It's so funny though, because like the things she's like coming home saying like the GSB. I'm like, who? She's like, girl side better. Like,
and then they're like calling boys side losers, and like we never really said the word loser in our house. And I was like, listen, you're getting older.
But that's
I'll let
like how
you
they
say it.
celebrate.
All right. Like I'm acknowledging, hey, but just try not to say it around your brother. I said this conversation 2 days ago. And then it was like girl side versus boy side, right? And she got all into it. She wore all black. And then she took Jamie's eyeliner, what was it, lip liner, and wrote all
like
up her
I had
arm.
colored
Be
eyeliner.
cool. Girls are cool. Girls rule. So
she's never ever been like that.
Right. So I said this morning around the island, you're around all these girls, you're going to have all these friends. But remember, you have 5 other people, your family, that your best friends and will always be there for you for the rest of it. You got 5 people that will always be. You may have a best friend one day that's going to say that they're going to be there for you always, Carmela. You don't know. You'll always have your family. So I think we lead with family first. We lead with like, you got great parents, and then we lead with like, you know, you don't have this missing quote father out there somewhere. And that's pretty much how we lead. Now the conversation will be had where we do talk about the donor and how we made our family, but I'm praying by then she's so okay, like confident, and just, you know, that we lead with like, we just had so much love for each other, and scientifically we'll study how to do all this, but like, to lead that we love.
I think we need to study
so
sooner than later, because what if she asks us tomorrow? We're not going to be prepared.
We got to study this week.
Yeah, I hope it's 3 years away, but if it's not, I mean, look how much she grew this summer, and she's going to be 7 next week, you know?
What about picking the donor? You want to share that, you know, how important it was for us to have a donor that did not want to be known or anything like that?
Yeah, we had a long conversation with this too, with the boys at dinner the other night, because they just went through the process. We wanted to hear their perspective of what it was. We should have them on the podcast.
Yeah.
We went through, like from their perspective, what it was like to pick a donor. And it was the same process as us picking a donor. And
it was funny hearing that they looked for like, quote, shallow things, kind of like we did too.
We did too. But it's a really big decision. And then I also talked to this about those girls that I was like mentoring that.
Oh, that's right.
Start now. If you're
a part of.
Did we say it last week though?
No.
Are you sure?
Yep.
No, we're part of this,
Gays with Kids.
I was like, it's GWK.
Mm-hmm.
And they like launched a 2-mom branch from like their nonprofit. And me and you are both like mentors for people that are looking for like some support. So they connected us with somebody who chose us that wanted to be their mentor, and had a conversation with them the other night.
We're mentors, and they listened to the podcast and they said, I'm not getting advice from these 2 women in their relationship.
No, I don't think so. They were so sweet. They were all the way
I'm totally just kidding.
You know remember where they lived?
Dramatics
Alaska.
Of this relationship.
Me and Lisa were like, actually, we started separately because I started the call first. I'm like, what's the weather there? They're like, beautiful. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, beautiful. What, like
50 degrees,
40 degrees?
Yeah.
And she's like, it's like 75. And I'm like,
wow, we were picturing igloos.
I was literally picturing igloos.
I know.
And then she showed me her camera like out the window, and it was like beautiful.
Wow.
It was like today.
We need to definitely travel more once our kids are older.
And then you came down and you were like, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're from Alaska. You're like, what's the weather there? And I'm like, I literally just asked.
You said, what'd you picture? I said igloos.
And I said, me too. The girls are like thinking we were so funny. And I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so I was saying, like, even if you have no idea how far away you are from when you want to start a family together, like, you should still start looking for a donor now, because you have no idea how long it's going to take. Then they explained the process, and they're like, I had no idea that's how it worked. And that's why we decided to do the mentorship. The same reason why we decided to do this podcast, which it's easy to get sidetracked and talk about our life. But like, we want to know, what do you guys want to know about building a family like ours? Because that's why we're here.
Any questions from them that we could talk about on the episode?
Oh gosh, you know what would have been great if I would have wrote those down, because they did ask quite a few things, and now I'm just like blanking. But one was about like searching for donors. I think we spoke a little bit like about the IVF process, like in particular. They did ask like what the kids call us, mommy and mama. They asked us how we decided because I thought the kids would say mama first.
Is that it? I didn't even know that. That's so funny.
I've told you that before. You just don't have the best memory, sweetheart.
Actually, I have a question here for you on that. What advice would you give to new two-mom couples expecting their first child? Because I did have some questions, and a lot of the questions are just we already covered.
Very confident because we have newborns that we've spoken about this 1,000 times. But I would say just knowing that like your marriage becomes a lot harder in that season of life because you're not sleeping. Mm-hmm. That's probably the most important advice. Or don't be alarmed if your marriage feels a little bit different for a little bit because no sleep.
That's a straight couple too.
Yeah.
What about a new two-mom couple?
Talked about this too a long time ago, but like the two-mom complex, like be aware of this because nobody told us about it, and you guys just not that like you could really do anything to avoid it. I don't think because you don't even know what's gonna happen until it's happening. But like if you find that you guys are competing to like be the one that's more in charge, just know that that's normal, right? Because I don't know if everyone engages with this, but we experienced this, and it was really hard. It got better with each kid. Like with Francesco, it still happened a little bit, but like we both kind of understood how each other parented. And like I think there were certain things that like we would just let go and be like, I learned that I'm not going to let that bother me.
Right. That's still going to come up though too.
But even with the twins, still happens. And some things I'm like, whatever.
But even yesterday when Francesco fell off the swing, I wanted to go over there because he was screaming for me. And then you went over there and you picked him up, and then I got like a little bit upset. It wasn't anything. We didn't even talk about anything. But inside, I think, I was upset. Like, I wanted to hold him. He's calling for me. And I wanted to pick him up a certain way because I didn't know if he hurt his arm.
So when he first fell, I don't think he called for you. And I think that's why we had a little... Usually if he calls for you, I'm like, you
Jessica
go get him.
was there. He was calling for me from the beginning.
When he fell, I thought he was just crying that he got a boo-boo. And that's why I don't want to give him up because he was actually hugging me. And sometimes he won't hug me back. Because he is very into you lately. So if he's hugging me, I'm like, I'm not letting him go. He was
into you his first freaking 2 years of life.
Yeah, but not anymore. My cousin said to me recently, like, is Francesco still so obsessed with you? And I was like,
when was that?
At my dad's. So and I was like, Daddy, I forgot that even happened.
The babies are obsessed with you. Carmela's getting obsessed with you because you've been putting her in bed every night. Because Francesco won't let me leave his room. But when I went away, you did good putting him.
Yeah, I can handle putting my kids to sleep.
Yeah, you put all four. I'm proud of you. All right, for me, I think advice I would give
to we go back to that. When you went away, you kept saying, like, why aren't you going to keep Karen with you while I go? Like, why are you letting her
hand from
And I'm like, so you think I can't handle putting my own kids to sleep? And you're like, but why not have the extra help? And I'm like, because I don't need her. I want to spend time with just the 4 kids with no one else around.
You're right. The real thing, I was trying to make it easy on you because there's been many times I've been like a little far for work and I have to be on in front of a bunch of people and you would call me like the house is falling down and I can't do anything about it.
Because I'm like, talk to Carmela. She's being sassy of sassiest.
What can I say to I'm not even going to get into it. But I'm 2 hours away, about to be on for
we've
work.
We've all done that though. I could be 5 minutes away at an open house.
I couldn't deal with that this weekend.
That's barely happened. And
I know exactly what thing it.
I've been 5 minutes away. I've been 5 minutes away where you've called me and told me how horrible it was. Do you remember?
Yeah.
All the times, do you remember?
Yes. Yeah. Of course. That's why I said, why don't you just get help? I just knew I couldn't. But you rocked it this when I was away.
That was the best behaved that they ever were. Then I tried to say,
let's get rid of any random help we have from anybody that.
I never need help when I'm not at work. I only need help when I'm actually working.
No, me too. Listen, I think we both run a good household without any help. I'll be honest.
We don't need the help. It's because we work.
The good thing with the help is like little like helping with like, yes, we have to work. And I also think working is very good for both of us emotionally and mentally. And then
I love working.
And then financially, we got to work. It is what it is,
Someone's got to send 4 kids to college.
Right. Unless they get scholarships, because now I know how these D1 athletes trained that were at the SBs.
Don't we have to start now? She's 7 years old.
Yeah, we're going to start in September.
She doesn't want to do softball. She told me. You think that's true? Or you think she just wants to not do anything?
I don't care if she does softball, but we have to sit and talk to her, and we also have to give her the push. All the kids that sign up throughout my 15, 20 years in sports, they get the push, and then they explore, but we got to give them the push in different sports.
As they stick with this, and let's see what you like.
You can't sit a 7-year-old down and say, hey, what do you want to do? They're going to say nothing. Taekwondo. Play outside.
She doesn't want to. She wants to try this, try that.
Right.
Yesterday she said,
we're the guidance, just so you know.
One of our friends is relocating here from Long Island, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we could do, just, Freya really likes gymnastics. If you want to explore gymnastics again, I would love for you guys to do a class together. She's like, doesn't she want to do archery? I'm like, who?
What?
Or a bow and arrow. Doesn't she want to like shoot the bow and arrow? Can't we do that? Fine. I'll do gymnastics if she tries bow and arrow.
We can't ask them for too many answers. That used to be something with us too. Remember, you were given options. I'm like, no options. No options. And you're like, well, I want her to be able to decide. Well, look at her now. Look at her now. You want her to decide at 2 if she wants the pink or the blue cup?
It's supposed to be good for kids like her who have control things, but it backfired because
nobody give your kid any options
last night,
ever.
I was like, this is your consequence. And she was like, that's not an appropriate consequence. I said, yes, it is inappropriate. Well, actually, I'd rather you read me the book and I'll put myself to sleep. I said, no.
Yeah.
I will not read you a
Meanwhile,
book.
she's holding this little berry still and still holding his tag by her face.
And she's like,
baby.
I'm like, Carmela, you do not make the rules in this house. Mommy and Mama make the rules. I walked out of the room. I said, I need a break. She's overtired. This is too much.
Right.
And then I came back in. But last week we were like, we're always talking about Carmela. It's just so easy too.
It's easy because she's a movie.
She's
a movie. Anyway,
she's going to be very successful. She's going to be
very successful. She's going to marry a good partner too, because that's the most important decision in life. Most important. Well, what I tell a 2-mom new couple? Remember that question 35 minutes ago? What I tell?
Actually, yeah, I think we're going to get kicked out of our podcast.
I know. What would I tell a new 2-mom couple? Build your family how you want to build it. Enjoy raising your family. You deserve to. You're a mother, and you're raising your family.
Oh,
you don't got to talk so scientifically about the donor and how it was made so early. Just enjoy that beauty and that innocence. In kids' mind, the more innocent you are about it, the better. The more proud you are of yourself and your family, I feel, the better.
I was also
I'm sorry. I just wanted. Okay, go.
No, I was just gonna say there's no rules either.
There's no rules.
Like you.
That's my advice, though.
No, I'm saying the advice is that there's no rules.
Yeah.
When you're like, well, what are they supposed to call us?
Yeah.
Well, who's supposed to do X? Who's supposed to do Z? You just do whatever you want, just like mom and dad couples.
Right.
There's really no rules for them either nowadays. People just do everything. But for us, like, they don't have to call you something certain. Only one of you doesn't have to do the mom stuff. Like, you could just both do whatever works for your family.
You'll know who you are as a
just
parent.
Like the way you run your household. Like,
we
naturally fell into, I do the dishes and the food shopping and you do the laundry. We naturally fell into, like, you do the garbage and I do whatever. Right. But the same thing's going to happen when you have kids. It's going to be the same thing.
There is one other piece of advice, though, that I don't think I've ever talked about as a 2-mom couple. As a 2-mom couple, you really are representing always a big audience of us, right? So there's a lot of people that have never been around a lesbian couple or even like nurses at hospitals, like maybe they haven't been around many lesbian couples.
And they will generalize us, so.
I hate to say, you kind of do always have to put your best foot forward for the representation of our entire community. And that is something I think I've always done, especially even in college, is like, I made sure I was friends with everybody. I made sure I was like, I was positive and awesome. And I led with that. So people got to know me and then just knew like that I just happened to be gay. I kind of decided to be like that in college, because college you get to decide who you want to be with a blank slate, really. And then in the world too, I just always wanted to just like be that person. Now, even when we had Carmela, first kid, and went to the hospital, friendliest with all the nurses, saying jokes, the best. And that's who we are though as people. But I think it's important that even if you're not typically outgoing or bubbly or whatever, you got to put that effort forward because you are representing. They're going to go home and say, I met this such amazing lesbian couple. They're amazing, you know? And then maybe they'll look at the news differently when they're like, oh, so-and-so wants to put, I read a warning label on LGBTQ plus shows, like a cigarette label. So that was proposed yesterday, but I met this really nice lesbian couple, and I don't think that's right. You don't know. So you have to always put your best foot forward for our community. I think that is a sacrifice and think it's something we should do. Because when we had our twins, a nurse was there. And you saw this, I don't know if you remember, she was giving me all this stuff from the hospital. She was packing my suitcase, all this free stuff. She goes, I remember you from your first kid. You guys are amazing. Yep. You know, true story. She gave us all this free stuff, and it was beautiful. I was like, wow, you know, she knows us as a lesbian couple, and that we're having kids, and our kids are beautiful, and how many, you know, how the room was full of love and joy and appreciation. I think that that's important to carry with you as a 2-mom family, you know, and a two dad family. We are the minority, so you got to represent that. Even interracial couples as well are a minority. Yeah, you know, you got to represent in a certain way, and that's just, you know, I love doing that. I would love.
People are judgmental as it is, so
that's right.
Why give them another reason?
So just do it for the community, you know, even if it's like you don't feel like being on, you know, just be a little extra friendly to, you know, in those moments. Teachers, all this, but yeah, no. So that's it. Wait, I want to just see before we wrap it up, because we're on a time thing
Actually,
now,
I can't believe it's already been that long. Like, I'm like, wow, it's already over.
What's one small thing parents can start doing to help build their kids' confidence? One small thing that parents could do to help build their kids'
daily
confidence. Daily affirmations, and then also kind of like subconsciously passing messages in their head. Like, we already say, like, the coolest thing about, like, when you get older, Carmela, I know we don't want to accept it, but, like, as you get older, especially when you're a teenager, you become, like, real best friends with your moms, like, in your family. So we're already subconsciously planting the seeds, like, you know.
That she'll tell us everything.
Yeah.
Also, like, something else.
She said somebody said the word bitch when she... I was like, ooh, bitch.
Something else that we do is, like, we'll do that exercise where we know that she definitely hears us, and we pretend to be talking about her like we think she doesn't hear us.
Yeah.
And we point out, like, good things that she did and something that, like, we're so proud of.
Anyway, you got to keep working on your kids' confidence. You got to keep working on your own confidence as well. I mean, that's, like, the biggest thing in life.
Takeaways. Always keep working on yourself and your kids, and...
Yeah.
And
do your best, and hopefully they turn out good, and hopefully you turn out good. Hopefully your relationship turns out good, and that's all you can do.
Right. Thank you guys so much.
Hope and pray.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, this podcast goes for 40 more years. 50. I'll still be alive. My grandma just turned 95.
You have good genes. So do I.
Yeah, you do too.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining. Glad we're sticking with it. Love you guys, and hope we help somebody out there. Helped ourselves as well.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.